Hello， 大家好，欢迎来到自由谈，我是 Jenny。今天呢，这一期播客，大家从标题可以看出来，这是一期英文播客。就像之前跟大家征集的一样，我发现有一些朋友呢，还是对英文播客蛮感兴趣的。刚好呢，最近我就认识了一个也是在做义工的朋友 Renee。那他呢，来自澳大利亚珀斯。在过去的2年里呢，他也是一直在环球旅行，并且保持着线上工作，所以可以算是数字游民。但是呢，在我们的分享当中，他也提到了可能他会遇到一些收入上的问题啊，以及他对未来其实也没有特别确定的一个计划。总而言之，我觉得是一个非常不错的分享。那他呢，在分享的过程当中也尽量放慢了语速，所以希望可以帮助到大家。那如果你喜欢类似的分享，请一定要在留言区里告诉我哟。之后我会邀请更多的嘉宾来做英文播客的分享。好了，那我们就进入正题吧。So hi guys. So today I invited Renee as our guest today. And Renee, she is from Perth, Australia, and we're both volunteering here in the hostel on Koh Tao in Thailand. Yeah. So would you mind introducing yourself a little bit, Renee?
Sure. Hello, so I'm Renee. As Jenny said, I'm from Perth in Western Australia. I've been traveling my whole adult life, but I've been full-time traveling and working online for nearly 2 years now. And often what I do is go to a different, like a country or city, and do volunteering. So that is how we have met, and how we have got here today. So I'm excited to answer some questions.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you say you're like as a digital nomad?
I wouldn't consider myself a digital nomad just because my income does not fully cover my expenses. So I still have to use some savings sometimes. I usually volunteer because I don't earn a lot. I'm a freelancer, so I don't have a regular income. It is just when I get clients, and sometimes I won't work for a month. If I'm doing a tour or something, or sometimes I'll go for a trip for a week and I won't work that week. So my income is very up and down. And that dictates where I travel, what I do. I do go home. I'm going home in 2 weeks because I want to earn a little bit more money and save a bit more money, see my family. So I do go home and that's my base, but I wouldn't say I live there. It's just somewhere I go to recharge my batteries, get a little bit of money if I need to, and then go back out, travel and work.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
So I work in digital marketing. I would say 50% would be the social media aspect. So I help clients create strategies, campaigns, and do social media management. So scheduling out posts, that sort of thing. That would be like 50%. And then the other half of what I do is photography and videography. So I have my own camera and drone. I have a Sony A7 III with 2 lenses, a zoom lens and a prime lens. And then I also have a DJI Mini 3 Pro drone, which I use. I contact companies, usually restaurants, hotels, tour companies, and ask if they would like jobs done, and then I get paid for that work as well. So that's the part I much more enjoy. And I would love to do that full time if it was possible. But
Oh, that's nice. So before you start your journey, you were already doing like digital marketing online?
Yes.
You work there?
I have a double degree, so I studied at university. I have a double degree in tourism and events, and then marketing and communications. So during university, I already started working in marketing, doing social media management for a local golf course. And then from that job, I graduated during COVID. So I had a job, but then within the first month, I was the probation didn't continue because the company wasn't able to keep me because of COVID and everything. So I became a freelancer straight away because I had no option. and I traveled and freelanced for a year. And then once COVID calmed down, I got a full-time job in a boutique agency within like the pharmacy industry. And I worked there for 2 years before I went freelance again. And then I've been freelance and traveling for the last 2 years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I already had the experience and I already took on my clients. So most of my clients I already know from my previous work in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. May I ask, like, how old are you now?
Yeah, sure. I'm 26 right now.
Oh, it's same.
Yeah, 1997?
Yeah, no, 1998.
Okay, yeah. So I'll be 27 in November.
Yeah, also like the year I graduated is like COVID.
Yeah, so it was really difficult to, not many people were taking grads and there was a lot of, uncertainty.
Yeah. Then like, why did you start to like, start your journey and like just traveling around the world and do your jobs online?
I've always loved traveling. So as I said, like I left Australia and studied in the US when I was 19. So pretty much straight out of school, I went traveling. And from there, I traveled literally every year except for during COVID when I couldn't travel. So for me, I just wanted the flexibility to be able to travel and obviously work because we need money. So it just made sense, and I was very lucky that the community of friends that I know back in Australia, a lot of them are digital nomads, a lot of them are content creators, influencers. So we all helped each other, and they're more in like the fashion industry and like different lifestyle industries, whereas I'm definitely more travel, like that is my passion. But yeah, so at home I have a lot of friends that also are pursuing that lifestyle, and we all helped each other to do it.
That's cool. So do you like your jobs right now?
I do. Like I have really great clients. I'm very lucky. Obviously being a freelancer is difficult because you're constantly chasing work. I don't know how much money I'm going to get. I have to invoice everybody myself. There's no paycheck each week. So sometimes like there's one client that I was supposed to have finished the job 2 months ago, and she just never replies to my emails. So when she does reply, then I do the work, and then I have to wait another 2 weeks for her to reply to an email so I can do the next part. So she owes me a lot of money. But she's lovely, and I get it, she's busy, but it can be frustrating because you just don't know when you're going to get paid. I would actually love to, I think I would prefer to work for a company and know my hours, know how much I'm going to get paid, not have to stress about it so much. So I might look into that in the future as well.
Yeah. So how did you find your clients? Are they all from Australia?
No, I have different clients from a few different places around. So one of my clients is from the US, but she is a friend of one of my clients in Perth. So all of my clients pretty much have come from Perth in my previous relationships. I don't advertise at all. It's just word of mouth and through people who already know me, and then they have recommended me to other people. So
do you have any other like side hustles or like your own business, something? Or like you do like an influencer and you get some advertisement or like affiliate marketing, things like that?
No, I have looked into that. I did have a website for a year as a trial, but I wasn't making enough money for it to be worth it for me. It was more work than I was getting income-wise. I have a few little side hustles that I do sometimes, like I would say that the photography is like another side hustle. I also sell prints online of my photography. Any kind of opportunity that comes up, I'm pretty willing to explore that and try that. I would be interested in looking into like selling, like I would love to write a book one day. I would love to have a gallery opening and sell like my prints but in person. There's lots of things that I would love to do on the list, but I haven't really done much of that yet. Photography is the easiest one, I think, for me. The easiest way to get quick money. Yeah,
I think like maybe for you, more important is to like travel than like to live a life. Than just make money.
I can live off very little money. So for me, it's, like really I only have to, like, my current spending 1 week of working full time equals 1 month of travel.
Okay.
So like I really don't have to work that much to maintain my current lifestyle.
Cool.
This is like my current lifestyle while in Asia. Different destinations will cost more money.
Yeah, for sure.
But like while volunteering, like my average spend is going to be in Australian dollars, so no one's going to understand. But like my average spending is $1,000 per month when I don't move around. That doesn't include flights. That's just living expenses.
Yeah.
So like
you can earn like in a week in Australia.
In a week I can earn $1,000. In Australia. So that's kind of and like generally I would spend like $30 a day and like $30 an hour. Well, minimum wage is $30 an hour in Australia. Like I would get paid more than that. So it works out very well being Australian. I'm very lucky.
Yeah. So like on average, how many hours you work per week?
Per week, it really depends, but I would say probably maybe 10. 10, I would say 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
so you just work 2 hours and like 2 hours a day.
Yeah, pretty much. And then usually I don't work a normal week. I usually work on weekends and then take off a couple of days in the week. Just because that works better for me. But yeah, it's very, very different all the time.
Cool. Yeah, it's okay. I understand. Yeah. So like maybe can you introduce like your travel routes? Like where did you start and where have you been?
My whole life, or like
maybe like recent times is the 2-year journey?
Okay, so in the last 2 years, I went to the whole of last year I traveled Latin America. So I started in Brazil. I think it was 2 months in Brazil. Then I went through Uruguay, but just for a week. Then I went to Argentina, and I volunteered in Brazil as well. And then I volunteered in Argentina. I did three volunteers actually, in different parts of the country. So I was in Argentina for 3 months. And then I went to Bolivia. Didn't volunteer there. I just traveled because it's very, very cheap. And then I went to Peru. Again, I didn't volunteer. I just traveled there. I spent quite a lot in Peru because I did a lot of tours and things like that. I then volunteered in Ecuador, traveled to the Galapagos Islands, went to Colombia, and then over through Central America, so Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua. I volunteered and worked in Nicaragua. I did a lot of collaborations through Central America, so I wasn't being paid, but I was doing photos in exchange for accommodation or like for some restaurants as well. And then El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, Belize. And I was in Mexico for 3 months, I think, and I volunteered there as well. And then I returned to Australia from Mexico early this year. And then I was home for a month, I think, and then I went to the Philippines to do a campaign for a travel company. So I created a video. I didn't get paid, but my whole trip was paid for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got to go on this amazing trip for free, which was really cool. And then I went home again after the Philippines for 2 weeks, and then I went to Sri Lanka for 2 months. So I was in Sri Lanka for 2 months, and then I came to Thailand. So I've been in Thailand for nearly 2 months now as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then I'll return home for a month. And then I think I'm going to go to Indonesia, back to the Philippines, and probably back to Thailand. But no concrete plans. I really just figure it out along the way.
Wow, sounds amazing.
Thanks.
So you like stay in a place for quite a long time, like few months doing volunteer?
I like to. The year that I traveled was very fast. Even though it was over a year, it was so fast. And like after that, I didn't want to travel fast anymore. I want to travel slow. So now, so like I've already been to Thailand before. Like I was in Koh Tao 5 years ago on holiday. So I already know that Thailand is one of my favorite countries. I've been to Thailand 3 times. This is my 4th time. So it's close by for me from Australia. It's cheap. People are kind. The culture's great. The food is great. So I see myself coming back here quite a lot. But I do want to explore new countries as well that I haven't been to.
Yeah, I feel like after you did a lot of travel, you just want to slow down.
Yeah.
And you really like dive deep into this place.
Exactly. And
and also like just
live.
to keep your budget, you don't want to move there.
Traveling is
frequent.
like the actual transportation
it's
is the
so-
most expensive part of
so
travel.
high.
Like definitely.
Right. And also for us, maybe visas and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I spent a lot of money on visas recently.
Yes. So like you say you did a lot of volunteers. What kind of volunteer do you do?
So I usually use Workaway.
Yeah.
I've been using that for the past year and a half, I would say.
Yeah.
Mostly in hostels. That's my favorite. Volunteering, helping. Like I've done events, rep stuff. I've done the reception work. I've volunteered at a yoga studio.
Oh.
I've done homestays where I've just been like helping around the house.
Yeah.
I've done ones where I've just helped with like painting and gardening. I volunteered. I taught English in Ecuador to children, which was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I also worked in a animal sanctuary, so I helped care for animals that were being rehabilitated. I volunteered at like a camp. It wasn't it was kind of a hostel, but it was camping.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a campground.
That makes sense,
a campground in Argentina, in Bariloche, which was really cool. It was like in the mountains. So it was like, it didn't snow when I was there, but it was like, it snows there and everything, which was really cool. So lots of different things.
Oh, yeah. So do you find it hard to find these hosts?
No, I think there is so much volunteer opportunity.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I wanted to, I could live for virtually free. Like, I think people need to know that you can travel the world for very, very little money.
Right.
The only thing that costs money is if you're willing to work, like use your time, you can easily travel for like basically nothing. Like you'd only have to pay for your flights. Because a lot of volunteering, it's your accommodation and your food. So like especially if you do ones in a remote area, they will cover all your expenses. Like they will feed you, you have your accommodation. So if you really want to do that sort of thing and see the world, I think volunteering is a really, really great way.
Yeah. There's also like a lot of people asking me like, how can you travel the world? Do you have a lot of money? Yeah, actually not. Just like if you stay in a place and they offer you for accommodation and food, actually you don't need to spend any money.
Exactly. And I get asked it all the time.
Sometimes you can even like work or like just promote something. You can get some commission or something like that. Yeah, that's definitely one. A lot of places, if you work in hostels or things like that, you can earn money through commissions, which is a great way. You can earn like a pretty decent amount of money sometimes. So that's a good one to know. You don't have to have your traditional digital nomad skills. You can just go somewhere and figure it out for sure. Yeah, and it is also like very entry level, so anyone can do this kind of job. So if you want to work online, maybe a little bit hard, but for volunteer, usually as long as you're a nice person, you're responsible, so you can do this one.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that depending on the country you're going, you will have to speak the part of the language. So like when I was in Latin America, I did learn Spanish because I had to speak only a tiny bit, but I had to be able to speak to guests that only spoke Spanish and not English. So I had to learn a little bit of Spanish. So like if you are coming from China, like you would have to have like English if you wanted to go to Australia or to an English speaking country. But as long as you have a basic amount, it's fine.
It's fine, Cool. Okay, so among the countries, is there any country most, you find most interesting or like most exciting or like culture shock, something?
I think, my recent trip to Sri Lanka, I really, really enjoyed. I wouldn't say it's a culture shock because I've done so much travel. I think it's kind of hard to shock me at this stage. But it is a really, really interesting country. It has a lot of tourism, but it's still very underdeveloped. It's not too touristic. There's lots of local food. It's like more, I would say it's like difficult to get Western food. It's like you eat the local food, you take local tuk-tuks, they don't really have like a lot of normal cars. The culture is really interesting, and the nature is just incredible.
Yeah.
Where I was volunteering, I would go drive to the beach and on the way see elephants, and like there'll be monkeys like in my hostel all the time. Like when I'm having breakfast, I will be watching monkeys, which is just incredible to be in a place that's just so filled with like animals still.
Yeah, nature.
Yeah, like really, like honestly, the elephants was the craziest part. Like I saw an elephant like almost every day, which is just like wild, just chilling. It was crazy.
That's nice.
Yeah, really cool.
And is there any other country you really love and you want to definitely go back? Maybe some countries.
Well, I want to go back to the Philippines because I didn't explore all the islands. There's one island or a couple of islands I still want to explore.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Indonesia because I've only been to Bali, and I want to go to like Komodo, Gili, Lombok, Java, like all the islands around.
Yeah.
I think I definitely want to go back to Europe as well.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Europe in a few years, but it is a more expensive destination, so for me, and it's like further away, so when I do that, I want to be a little bit more set up and have more consistent income, so I know how much money I can spend. But I really love Thailand, and I think I will come back to Thailand again.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. So you travel alone?
This trip I have been alone, but on previous trips I have been with my younger sister, so we often travel together. We spent a year traveling Latin America together, but we did separate and do our own things at times. So sometimes, it's my sister. We got sick of each other. We had fights. So she would volunteer at a different place, like in the same city, but in a different hostel on the other opposite sides of the city. So we would still see each other on nights out, or like we would meet up for brunch and things like that, but we didn't see each other every day, which was quite nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
So you have each other, but you don't get sick of each other.
Exactly. So that was, but we didn't really get sick of each other until probably like 6 months in. So we lasted pretty well, but after 6 months with somebody, But I also now I know so many people, and people who travel will continue to travel. So I've often bumped into people that I've met in other countries. Like just last night, I bumped into a guy that I met in Sri Lanka.
Oh,
here,
wow.
Which is it's not that crazy because, everyone goes everywhere, but it was still pretty crazy to see him.
Just see him on the street?
Yeah, I just saw him on the street, and
really?
we were like, oh my God, and he's going to Koh Phangan as well. So I'm going to see him there.
Cool. Amazing. Yeah. Okay. And when you travel, do you find some safety issues because you travel alone and you as a female, maybe in some countries?
I am very conscious. I just I never get too drunk. I never put myself in any position where I might feel unsafe. I wouldn't walk anywhere at night by myself that I don't know. I always just take precautions to make sure that I'm safe. I've never had any issues. In Latin America, it was definitely more unsafe than here. It was obvious. You can't walk on the street with your phone in your hand.
Right, yes.
You will literally get robbed. And multiple times people tried to rob me because I had my phone in my hand, and then I quickly put it away and ran into a shop or ran into a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but it is like that. And even if it was a 500-meter walk, I would take a taxi because it's just, you just can't walk.
Yeah.
You just can't, and so it's definitely different. And if you do want to travel to countries like Brazil or Colombia, Ecuador, even Bolivia and Peru are better in the tourist cities, but I would
do
say
some research.
Do your research and just get a taxi, don't walk alone, don't go out at night, things like that, because you do have to be more careful than in Asia.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I always get a SIM card so that if I need to, I can call somebody, call a taxi, call an Uber, and get out of the situation if I need to get out of a situation. So I would say sometimes I used to just have Wi-Fi, but when I'm alone, you need to be able to have maps or be able to call somebody if you need to get out of a situation.
Yeah.
So
Good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have any plans for the future? After this?
Well, I'm going home for a bit, and the plan is to set myself up a little bit better, like financially, so that I'll know how much money I'm going to have each month. And then, just keep traveling. One day I would love to have my own hostel. That's a long-term goal, but I just can't decide where. And I'm not ready yet to settle, I don't think. Like, I still want to keep traveling, and I know if I have a hostel that I won't be able to travel as much.
Yeah.
So, that's a later down the track thing. But for now, I just want to keep traveling, keep working, enjoying myself. Yeah.
So you said after you go back to Australia, and then maybe the next one is also Southeast Asia?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm just going to stay in Southeast Asia because
it's more affordable?
Yeah, it's much more affordable for me. Pretty much, affordability. If I go to Europe, and also time, like at the moment, I do want to go to India and Nepal and maybe back to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
But the season for that is more like November to February kind of thing. So, when it's cold in Australia, the best place for me to go is to Southeast Asia or Europe. Maybe next year during winter, Australian winter, I'll go to Europe. I would love to. Hopefully, if I've set everything up and I've got enough money, I'll be able to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, after traveling and working online for 2 years, what would you say about like the advantage and disadvantage, or like things you like and dislike about it?
I love that I can work anywhere.
Yeah.
Like today, I just went to a cafe, had a nice coffee, was looking at the beach on my laptop working, and I just thought to myself, I love my life.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing. I can't imagine going into an office.
Right.
I personally get really distracted when I'm in an office with lots of people, and like I find it more difficult to work, whereas if I'm alone, I can go do my work when I want to, the better time for me. I think I'm more productive, so I can get things done faster and spend more time doing what I would like. So I love that about like working remotely. The challenges are, of course, that sometimes you can't get good Wi-Fi, which can be really, really frustrating. You have to do your research. I actually have been staying in quite a lot of co-working hostels and co-working cafes, because if they're advertised as co-working, they have to have good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes you have to pay, but it's worth it if you have like a meeting or something really important. So that's something that can be a bit of a struggle. Also, carrying all of your stuff, my bags are so heavy, and like sometimes I do get a little bit stressed about, I've never had any issues, touch wood, but it can be a little bit stressful traveling solo when you have like your laptop and your camera and your drone and everything in your bag. Like if someone took all of that, I would be in trouble.
Right,
It would be very, very bad. So that can be a little bit annoying, like carrying everything you own on your back.
Yes.
But otherwise, like, I love it. I really recommend anyone trying to do it. It's not something that happens overnight. I think a lot of people think that it's really easy, and it's not easy. It is hard, and you have to work a lot at it and slowly build yourself up. But it's worth it, and give it a go. Just try, There's no such thing as failure. It's just learning.
Yeah.
Sometimes it won't work. Sometimes you won't like it. Sometimes you'll go to a place, and same with volunteering. Like sometimes you'll go somewhere and you don't like it. Right, and you're allowed to leave. You don't have to stay if you don't like it. Like you're a volunteer.
Yeah, exactly.
Just leave. So
that's good. That's a good conclusion, actually.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask, do you have any advice or like to people who want to live like this?
I think the advice is just remember that you can do whatever you want. So don't feel pressured to do things a certain way or keep doing it if you don't like it. Like some people may not like backpacking, like it's hard.
Yeah.
It can get lonely, it's tiring, it's very tiring.
Yeah.
You miss a lot of things from home, the food's different. It's not for everyone, and if you don't like it, don't force yourself to, just accept it and try something else or volunteer somewhere different, try a different location, because some places I thought that I would really like, I just didn't, and then places that I didn't think I would like, I really loved. So you just never know until you're there.
Yeah, you have to know.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's enough for today. Thank you so much, Renee.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
恭喜大家，你已经成功的完成了这一期英文播客的收听，是不是感觉还是蛮有收获的呢？如果你喜欢此类分享，请一定要告诉我哟。其实正如 Renee 在今天的采访当中所说，环游世界其实可能比大家想象中的要便宜很多。当然，其实你也需要一个入场券，那在很多时候这个入场券就是英文。你至少要可以使用英文流利的沟通，跟大家产生日常的交流，你才可以去获得这样各种各样的机会，并且呢，你可以其实跟更多的人产生更深的链接。那学习英语有各种各样的方式，我个人觉得就实用性来说，其实听力和口语是非常重要的。那我自己呢，现在也提供1对1或者1对多的英语口语训练。你可以跟我预定一个时间，然后我们就某一话题或者某一领域用全英文去交流。那这个训练的重点并不是在于通过考试或者是获得一定的词汇量，而是教给你更日常的表达，让你能够更轻松的跟外国人沟通。因为大家其实可以在这个播客里听到，很多时候不管是我还是 Renee， 我们的语法可能并不是完全正确的，然后我们也会有一些口癖，比如说经常会说 like 呀，或者是就是这些都是很正常的，而且也是在英语口语里很常见的。所以我的口语训练会主要关注于流畅的表达和沟通，而不是在纠结这些词汇呀，这些语法。那后续呢，我还会跟一些我在旅行当中遇到的外国朋友们，可能会跟他们有一些联合的课程，或者是邀请他们来作为就是我的外教老师，跟大家一起练习口语。总之，如果你感兴趣的话呢，可以添加小助手的微信去了解详情。当然，如果你们有别的需求或者是建议，也欢迎在评论区里留言。那我们这一期就先到这里咯，感谢你的收听，我们下期再见，拜拜。